Do I believe in God? I do. The challenge with using the word God is it has 1,000 definitions. Like it's one word. It's like a placeholder that is very, very hard to define, right? And so I might say that, but it's not that I believe in the God of the Christian church, right? In very short measure, my understanding of God is historically, like I was raised in Christian family with ministers in my family and what have you. I studied the Bible, but I studied everything. I studied Buddhism, I studied Hinduism, I studied indigenous, when I went to university, even though I studied math, I studied religions, I studied spirituality, I studied, philosophy. And I intellectually fully believed that it made complete sense that there was a God. I had it all intellectually figured out. And I also went through times of being quite an agnostic because I was angry at the church. And at that time, it felt like if you didn't believe in how the Christian church did things, then you didn't believe in God. Like somehow the church owned God, which doesn't make any sense now. But at the time, that's what it felt like. And then, so I just sort of remained an agnostic, but deeply believed that made sense intellectually. And then I got sick in 1999. And a lot of all the constructs just fell away. They just fell away. And I remember, I'm going to see if I can, this is my book, What If You Could Skip the Cancer? Okay, you guys ready? Here's a little thing. Chapter 16, Living in the Real World. At one particularly low point, I went to see Jim. I'd been feeling really down, lost, and alone. It was like there was no one I could turn to, no one who really understood. I was questioning the very basic assumptions about what was right and wrong in life. I was questioning all of the training I had ever received, officially and unofficially. I was reassessing all of my relationships. I was looking at all of the choices that I had ever made. Sometimes it felt like nothing made sense anymore. I was like a boat who had lost her moorings. Sometimes it was all really scary. Wayne was there supporting me, but he was worried. He was scared that I would have the same fate as my mom. He wanted to trust that I was doing the right thing, but he was struggling with it. I couldn't go to him when I was having doubts or fears. It wouldn't have been fair. He just couldn't understand. That was my husband. I had friends and family who were there to support me. They would listen and try to relate, but they couldn't. Part of the problem was that I struggled to put into words what I was really going through. At best, only a fraction of what was really going on inside of me ever came out in words. With only a partial story, they could do nothing but listen patiently, smile, and try to give advice and hope. I truly could find no comfort, no one who really understood. I felt so alone. As I lay on Jim's table, I told him this. He was the healer that appeared out of nowhere. It's like I am all alone in the middle of a barren wasteland. The wind is blowing and there's a sandstorm all around me. There is no one I can turn to. I can't see anyone, and there isn't anyone who can see me. It's like there is only me and God. Jim smiled and said, "Welcome to the real world." And this became kind of the foundation of my new life. That whatever that is for you, beautiful is yours. Yeah, that's my book. This was the first book I ever published. What If You Could Skip the Cancer? And the whole book is the story, my whole journey, of healing. And my journey to trusting my intuition and listening within and all that kind of thing. And it's an interesting thing, this idea of believing in God or however you understand it. Because for me, the danger is that we get academic about it. But in the quiet, when we're struggling, and we ask for guidance, and we listen to the guidance, and we act on the guidance, we just start to know something. That's it. And you kind of know that you're not alone, and you don't understand it, and you can't put words to it. You just know that there's a lot more going on in the world than we think. And so I call that God, but it might be a different definition for someone else.